Hello, everyone, and welcome into another edition of the Nittany Pod. I am AP. Again, joined with me are TK and Alex. Appreciate you guys joining me. We got a lot to talk about. What the hell did we just watch? I mean, Bowling Green, almost 300 yards of offense in the first half, bro. 24 points. What the hell? I can't believe that. I still haven't processed what I watched.
I started thinking about last year when I think it was actually me and Alex on here when we were talking. I think we were going into it might have been the Indiana game, and we were like, these are the games that we just don't have to worry about anymore. Like we just go into these expecting to win, no problem, and just win big, and that's it. Then we went to Indiana. We played Indiana last year, shit our pants at home, I believe it was.
Yeah.
And this game felt a lot like that. It felt a lot like 2018 App State at home too. It's just embarrassing. It was an embarrassing performance. They like flip-flopped, man. Like offense first half, defense was good second half.
Yeah.
It was embarrassing, man. It's unacceptable. Truthfully, on all counts, it's unacceptable.
Yeah, it wasn't better at all.
Yeah, I was actually expecting a little bit worse there from TK, to be honest.
Oh, it'll get worse.
Yeah, I don't. It was probably one of the worst defensive performances I've seen in the last 8 years in the first half. So it's one of those things. Do you chalk it up to? They came off of a big game at West Virginia on the road. A lot of hype around that game. A lot of talking around that game. I know TK's not going to like this answer. He's already shaking his head. But, I think
it's valid.
I think it's a thing. I think Notre Dame ran into the same thing. And then, unfortunately for Notre Dame, they lost. So, you have a little bit of a letdown, right, at home. The concerning part to me is that it took a half to
that's the thing. Like,
to correct it.
You don't sleepwalk through 2.5 quarters.
I do appreciate the response that they had in the second half. I mean, you allowed them to 3 points, right? And then offensively, I also think if we don't, I thought the offensive PI on Amari Evans was pretty soft, if we're being honest. And then
definitely a makeup.
Obviously, the interception that Drew throws in the end zone is just terrible timing and really can't happen. But if those two plays have different results, do we get a different vibe out of this game because we probably score more points? Maybe not. But, I'll take a win over, dealing with what Notre Dame's dealing with right now.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely an ugly Saturday all across college football. Obviously, Notre Dame lost. Plenty of other teams struggled. A lot of teams were slow to start and then pulled away at the end. Alabama, for instance. But we can say a win is a win, and just win your clunkers and get out of there. And that's true. However, Bowling Green, they're not even really known for fighting teams to the brink like that, upsetting teams. I don't know. I don't know what to make of it, man. Like you mentioned, hangover from the week before, and that's very well possible. We've seen it time and time again throughout college football. But through an entire half, 2.5 quarters, 24 points, 300 yards. It just doesn't make any sense. Like I don't get it. The second half of the game, the defense was fantastic. The entire first game, defense was fantastic. First half, absolute dog shit. Like, it doesn't make any sense at all. I don't know. I'm at a loss.
I listened to the Nittany Dispatch. I don't know if any of you two listen to that with Audrey and John. If you don't listen to it, I'd recommend it. I'm a big fan of Audrey Snyder. I think she does a great job. Anyway, I thought John said something that was, a fairly good point. They just played better fundamental defense second half, right? Like they made tackles. They just played the defense, right? The first half, it seemed like everybody was trying to make the biggest play possible, lay people out. Gap soundness was out the window. We just weren't playing the defense. And then the second half rolls around and we play the defense, and it's a different result, right? So, I think that's a fair point too.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know what to make. Overall, I will say this. I don't know what to make of this, right? Like, do I push the panic
at all.
button? Is this cause for concern defensively? Because I think back to like what TK said early on last year about the offense and the lack of explosive
Mhm.
plays. Everyone was like, oh, no, myself included. Don't worry about it yet. Well, it turned into a problem, right? So is this an early sign of problems to come?
Yeah.
Oh, God, I hope not.
A couple things. One, I'm not willing to give them the hangover excuse.
That's fair.
I hate that. Obviously there's always, well, at least you won, and yeah, that's correct. That's fine. I don't want to be Notre Dame right now, but I'm tired of that. I'm tired of that. You look like shit. Like, respectfully, like, they look like shit the whole game. Like, if we're being honest, like, you can pick different parts of the team that you could honestly probably go buy position unit for a quarter each, and they look like shit. Like, that's what it is, bro. Like, yeah, like, they beat the shit out of West Virginia. Like, they look great. Defensively, they look great against West Virginia. All of us, everybody, national media is like, wow, this Penn State defense is flying around. They look great. Didn't lose a beat. Then you come into this game, you just beat the shit out of West Virginia. You have an experienced head coach who's been a part of the ups and downs after a win and loss. They look unprepared. They looked uninterested. They were just walking around, dude. Like, the offense in the first half, in what fucking world did we think in this year or any year, we're like, thank God we have an offense because we're in a shootout right now with Bowling Green. Like,
It was mentioned a couple times there. It felt like the freaking roles flipped from last year.
they flipped in the game. In the first half, it was the offense was good and the defense sucked. The second half, defense was really good. Offense sucked. And the offense, it was so conservative in the second half. We were literally, from the middle of the third fucking quarter, playing not to lose.
Yeah,
Playing
absolutely.
not to lose.
That's what it was.
All James Franklin talks about is winning the third quarter. He loves that fucking quarter. We won the quarter because we scored 7 fucking points. That was a horrible performance across all counts. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. I don't want to hear about the defense in the second half. That's all fine and good. Like, it's fucking Bowling Green, dude. They had 300 yards in the first half. I don't know if Penn State gave up 300 yards in more than 4 games last year, bro. Like, that is insane. Like, unbelievable. And, like, the undisciplined football we're playing, like, offsides, holding, getting behind the sticks every fucking drive. It is unbelievable, dude. 3rd and 6, 3rd and 12, 3rd and 8, first down. It's like, what are we doing, man? You're giving Bowling Green 15 yards off the ball on 3rd and 7, dude. Like, in what world, man? Like, I'm absolutely mind blown. Like, following this game, I am mind blown by the reaction from our fan base. I am, like, not YouTube specific, just mind blown. Like, everyone's like, oh, well, stayed at 8 in the polls, little mix up game. Like, everybody across the country had it, so fuck it. Like, it's not a big deal. The receivers still fucking suck. They're complete fucking ass. The defensive line, who's supposed to be one of the best in the country, can't get a fucking sack to save their life. And the secondary, who looked like it was the best secondary in the Big Ten the first week of the season, looked like it's the fucking worst this weekend. That was unacceptable, bro. That is unbelievable, and it falls directly on the head coach 100%. I don't care if you think it's because I don't like Franklin. I don't care. That falls on him 100%, and all he did when they panned to him was sit there with his fucking arms crossed, disinterested himself. That was unbelievable what I watched this weekend. That was insane, dude. And you have to sit on it for a whole nother week because it's a bye week. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, that's the worst part about it. We got to dwell on it. And in a couple weeks, a lot of people around the country will have forgotten about it for the most part, but we definitely will not have. We understand our bye week woes. Granted, we're coming in and playing Kent State off of it, but hell, I mean, that doesn't feel like a guaranteed blowout anymore.
One of the worst teams in FBS. One of
Illinois,
the worst teams in FBS.
We came out of the West Virginia game looking straight ahead to USC, like, oh, we're gonna, undefeated going into that game, no worries. And now I kind of worry about the Illinois game. We've seen us lose that game before in Beaver Stadium, so it's not. And last year was a dogfight, at least for a half. So, and UCLA, who knows what that's going to be like? It just causes so much more stress now, and I don't understand. Like, it almost felt like they just could roll out their helmets onto the field and fucking win because of it.
Look,
And it's like that's not the case, bro. It's that's not the case in
Illinois,
2024 college football.
I mean, I obviously don't want to jump Kent State. I know that's 2 weeks away, but Illinois, I mean, you watched the game that we just had. If Illinois comes out and just runs 11 personnel the whole time, can we stop that? Like, think about that. Can we actually stop that right now? Like, present time, can we stop them from doing that? Which they did when they came and beat us with the 9 overtime bullshit. They did that the entire game. Can we do that? Can we stop them from doing that right now, present time? I don't think so. I don't.
I'm not certain.
I don't. I don't understand. And I mean, everyone under the sun bitches about me talking about the receivers, man. This receiving room is generationally bad. Generationally bad. There is no one. Harrison Wallace, obviously, wide receiver 1, no problems there. I think he'll have a good year. I don't have any problems there. But he was nowhere to be found. A team said, we're going to take away Harrison Wallace and see what the fuck we get. And what we got was Tyler Warren going for like 150.
Yeah, I mean, Tyler Warren had a career day, so kudos to him. That was good to see, but
I don't understand.
Amari Evans also rushed for over 200 yards on the ground.
Yeah, Capron and Nick both got 100.
And Nick also had a catch out of the backfield.
There were positives to take from this game, but the overall point and the overall feeling coming out of it is just general disappointment because you were in a dogfight with Bowling Green for 4 quarters. It wasn't even for the first half. You were in a dogfight for the entire 60 minutes.
Won't win games.
Regardless of how, the offense played fine, in my opinion. It was bad in the second half, but they still moved the ball. They still got up and down the field. They scored, 34 points without their number 1 receiver catching a ball. I mean, he caught a ball, but it was called back, so it didn't count on the stat sheet.
Amari Evans, by the way, 3rd and 15, across the middle, dot, could run to the end zone, dropped. It is current state right now, whether it's USC
they left 17
or
points
Wisconsin or whoever, Penn State cannot win football games against a competent team right now. It's not sustainable for them to do that with 1 receiver. It's not. It's not. And it's been a problem for years now from a recruiting piece. And now it's here. Now we're looking at it. There's no oh, well, this guy will bail you out. That's just not sustainable, man. Down the stretch here with the teams you're going to play, shit, maybe sooner than we thought. Current right now, what they have on offense in the receiving room and production-wise is not sustainable. They will not win enough games. They won't.
TK's off the 11-1 train after 1 week.
I'm still saying 11-1, but you're not gonna beat USC or fucking Illinois or Wisconsin, and damn sure not Ohio State. Which right now, present day, that game is so gone out the window right now. That is unbelievable. You cannot win football games like this, bro. You cannot win football games like this. Nick I love them both. They're fantastic backs. Singleton and Al are not going for 100 apiece against Ohio State, USC, Illinois, Wisconsin. It's not going to happen, bro. It's not going to. It's simply not going to happen. We need to figure it out. Someone in the room needs to grow up and be an adult and take a step forward to become an option. Liam Clifford was the story of the fucking offseason about how great he is, how reliable he is. He is nowhere to be found.
Still haven't seen him yet.
Clueless, dude.
We've seen him celebrating on the field with his.
I don't know. I actually think Amari Evans has shown pretty nice flashes at times. I know
the lowlights are so bad.
I know he had what?
The lowlights are so that drop is so bad, bro.
So bad in such a big spot, dude. It's 3rd and 12. He evades the pressure. He steps up in the pocket and
beautiful play by Drew.
He gets
Sorry
you
to cut you off,
inside
Al.
across the middle. He walks to the end zone.
I
He
mean,
walks. Like,
okay, so he had a drop, but he
I'm
also
tired of
caught.
that, bro. It's been that for 2 years. It's,
I
he
mean,
had a drop. Like,
he
it
caught
was
a
one
touch.
drop. Like,
He,
he
he
ran the wrong route. Oh, it was an option route. He went outside instead of inside.
did.
I'm tired of that. And he pushed off. Correct.
That push off was soft, bro.
That was a
That
flag,
push off
for
was
sure.
soft.
That was a
That,
flag.
I mean, it's a soft PI. I think we can.
That wasn't soft, bro. He just extended his arms, dude. It's a penalty. Like, it's a penalty.
It's
Like,
a soft penalty, in my opinion. I mean,
Yeah.
the only
the
way he
West
can catch
Virginia
the
one,
fucking ball is if
the
he
West
pushes
Virginia
off.
one.
Like,
10 times worse.
bro, man.
Listen. I'm not. I'm really not like as doom and gloom as TK here. like, was it a bad game? Yes, it was a bad game, but you know, I still think there was signs that this team will be fine. Is there things to clean up? Is there things to fix? Of course there is. But do I think that this team is somehow just not going to learn anything and not continue to progress as the season goes on? No, I don't think that. I do have a little bit of concern overall about the cornerbacks. You know, are Kimber and Harris, you know, we're hoping they can be. Cam Miller didn't have a very good game. I don't know what's going on with Winston Jr. Is he hurt? Was that a disciplinary thing? James Franklin didn't seem to want to talk about that one at all. You know, so there is some concern, but I still look at this, and then on the offensive side of the ball, I still look at this offense and still feel it's better than it was last year.
Oh, definitely.
Is the wide receiver room perfect? No, it's not, but we all knew it wasn't going to be coming into the year, right? No, I don't. Did any of us really think that the wide receiver room was going to be just you know, OSU all of a sudden? No, I think you're being unrealistic if you think that. And I don't really give a fuck who has a big game. I don't care. I don't care if it was Tyler Warren that went for $150. I don't care if it was Nick Singleton and Katron Allen that both rushed for 100 yards. I do not care who it is as long as it's somebody that allows us to win the football game. That's all I care about.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, at end of the day, Penn State played about as bad of a game as they possibly could have, considering the opponent that they played. And they came out on top. You know, if you want to
Right.
look at it from a positive way, get all that ugly shit out in this game. You know, get all that shit out. That interception from Drew, the ugliest decision we've ever seen him make. That was by far the dumbest decision we've ever seen him make. He hasn't made a decision anywhere near that dumb before. I don't know what that was, but get that shit out of the way. The defense, miscommunication in the first half. Kobe King even said it. Like, he felt the defense wasn't on the same page, which is kind of problematic in my opinion, because you are the leader of communication on the field for the defense. But you know, get that shit out of the way. This is what it took. Whatever. You got to win. Played about as ugly as you possibly could. Don't let that shit happen again, because my heart cannot take it anymore.
I mean, Drew looks way better. Like, like, it's not all doom and gloom. Like, he looks way better. But
they responded every time they got punched, which is good.
Like last year, I feel like, you know, it was, you know, him kind of keeping us like just afloat. It felt like offensively. Now I feel like he's the reason they are winning some games, or will win some games. I think he will them to win some games, which is great. But the reality is, like, the people he's throwing the ball to, man, like, it's gotta be an uptick, man. Like, it is concerning. And the pick he threw, like, I mean, it's just a bad throw. Like, he's just trying to get that to the back end, right of the end zone, and he didn't put enough on it.
He was trying to do too much.
Fine. Yeah, that's fine. Like, it wasn't like he didn't see him or some shit. You know what I mean? It was just a bad throw. But like, he's been great. Nick, you know, Alex made a good point. You know, breakout season for Nick. I mean, he's got over 102 games in a row. I mean, he seems to have his verse back. He's breaking more tackles than he did last year, which are all really positive. But like, Aaron, like you mentioned it. I mean, you mentioned it after the game. I mean, it was just, you know, you think of complimentary football. This was the furthest thing from that. Like, this was just bad on bad at times. Like, and as much as, like, I love what our offense is doing, you know, I would be remorse to not mention there were times where I was like, yo, like, what the fuck was that series? Like, what did we just do? You know? Well, that's going to happen with every team and every OC. But yeah, I mean, obviously move forward. It's a win, 2-0. You have a bye week to watch film, get the shit right. But that can't happen again. Like, and if it happens to anyone above the level of Bowling Green, it's a loss for sure.
Yeah. Talking about complimentary football, they probably played complimentary football for about a total of a minute. And that was the Zakee Wheatley interception leading into the Nick Singleton touchdown, like 2 plays later. And then what does that follow up with? The kickoff going out of bounds. So I mean, even that you can't even get complimentary with the third phase there. I mean, the whole day was just off for the entire team.
Hey,
Sander
Sander
had a bounce
had a
back game. Yeah, Sander had a nice bounce back game. That was very welcomed to see.
Most exciting and like actual offense looking drive that we've had in probably years. When we went down 17-7, went right down the field in 45 seconds.
Yeah.
Right
Yeah,
down
I
the
mean,
field.
they responded every time they got
Well,
punched.
and
So that was nice.
I think that's the thing that we, can take away from what we've seen from the offense so far, right? Like there definitely seems to be, I don't want to say an easiness to it, but currently, and I know we haven't played like, a top tier defense yet either, but it does feel like when they need to score, they can go do it.
Yeah.
Andy has had the ability, at least so far, to draw up a play when you needed it most. Amari Evans was wide open, right? I don't know exactly what the scheme was or the play design was on that play particularly, but it's pretty easy pitch and catch for those two, right? Or at least it should be. So that's another positive I think you can take from the offense. They've definitely had the ability to get the big play when they needed the big play. We couldn't do that last year at all.
Correct.
Yeah. I mean, little things like that I'll take out of the game as a positive, but overall, I came out of that feeling
the penalties
really negative.
The penalties need to stop.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say, if there's one thing about a Franklin team, that they're not normally overly penalized. I don't know what it is with our inability to just watch the football on the defensive line. I understand wanting to get after it and try and, anticipate a snap as much as possible. But, in close games like that, that's a problem.
Yeah. TK's dogs aren't liking it either. I mean, there's a lot to clean up. Offensive line, we haven't even talked about that yet. Offensive line, what the hell was that game from them? We were praising Phil Troutwine and the entire offensive line group last week, and then on Saturday, Drew Shelton looked absolutely lost out there. There was a play. I think it was the 3rd and 17 drop by Omari Evans. Bowling Green dropped 8, and they still got home. They still had Drew Aller flush out of the pocket. Oh, I don't know what was going on with the entire team yesterday, but something was off, and they need to get that fixed in a hurry.
Yeah, but on the they were pretty bad in pass pro for sure. But I will say, I know Drew took that sack for 23 yards.
Yeah.
But I, my uncle and I were talking about this, and the way I look at that is, that's Drew making a play, or trying. Let me rephrase: trying to make a play. Did it work? No, it didn't. But I feel like last year we would have just had Drew throw that away, right?
Yeah.
Breaks a couple tackles, tries to get out of the pocket. Does it result in a good play? No, obviously not. He loses 23 freaking yards. Learn from that a little bit. But I appreciate the fact that you're trying to make the play, right? You're not just giving up. For
a while there, it seemed like he was going to.
Yeah, I don't feel like we saw that a whole lot from him last year. If the play wasn't there, he just threw it out of bounds.
Yeah, which I did find myself at times on Saturday saying, "Drew, just throw it away," which is crazy to think. I never would have thought that I'd be yelling at him to actually throw it away after last year. But yeah, I mean, it just shows the little maturation process that he's kind of gone through in the past year. But there's also that shows there are times you got to be able to pick and choose. So he still has a little ways to go in that sense, but he's definitely making strides, a little more confident in being able to use his playmaking ability. And we might see some magic out of him in the future, because that felt really close. But obviously.
Oh, by the way, for those only listening, I am wearing the only team that doesn't disappoint us. Penn State wrestling. Wrestle
That's
officer coming up,
a fair point.
getting here.
Yeah, they really are the only team that doesn't disappoint us.
The offensive line, man.
Oh boy.
I mean,
What did you think of Rucci?
holy fuck, man. Like,
Better than Shelton.
Drew, come on, man. Drew Shelton,
Like, bruh, what are we doing?
sit down.
It's so weird. He played so well at week 1 too.
It's time to
And
sit down.
Olu spoke praises of him in the offseason.
I think that the rotating bullshit needs to stop. I think they need to find the group that they feel works best together.
Yeah.
I think that Drew Shelton probably should not be in that group right now. You're getting abused by Bowling Green. That's not competitive, man. So I don't know. Rucci was okay. He got abused too at times. I mean, it's just not the same. It's just like it's just so hard for me to use this game because it's like this was so bad. Like this was just a bad, like the worst it could be. Like, and yeah, they still won, like we said, but like across the board, pretty much, like this was honestly besides 3 players, like besides Singleton, Allen, and Warren, like this wasn't great. Somebody other than those 3 did something that was detrimental to the game at some point. Like, that's the reality. Like we basically 3v22 Bowling Green and won 34-27. Like, because
I mean, who knows what Bowling Green is going to be as a team, but end of the day, it's still Bowling Green. Like you shouldn't struggle with them like that. Yeah. Now, 2016, the year that we won the Big Ten, we had a struggle of a game against Temple, 34-27 that year as well. So I mean, hey, good teams have shit games from time to time. This is no indication of what Penn State will be in November, December. We could still very much be 11-1. You never know what happens. I'm definitely not going to put 12-0 on the table at this point based off of what we saw on Saturday. You don't you can't take much away from games that you see in early September. So that's really the biggest point. And yeah, it's ugly. You got to buy. Let's move on. Tighten shit up against Kent State.
One question: how do y'all feel about Abdul at linebacker versus defensive end?
Well,
I like him floating back and forth.
First of all, I need my freaking secondary to hold up long enough that he can get to the quarterback, and I think he'd be fine at the end.
Yeah.
Half the reason Bowling Green was having so much success there in the first half is because the ability to get the ball out quickly was there too often. TK mentioned it earlier, playing 10, 15 yards off of them on a 3rd and 7. Hell, they were playing 10, 15 yards off of them on 3rd and 12. Overall, it just felt really, really soft. And as a result, Bowling Green took advantage of that, got the ball out quick. And, I don't think our defensive line, I know TK mentioned sacks earlier too. I don't think our defensive line, at least yesterday, really had much of a chance to even get after it because ball was out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, when push came to shove, I don't think letting Abdul Carter unblocked on a 4th and 1 was a great idea for Bowling Green. But, they did that and he made the play. So, yeah, I don't mind him floating back and forth. I still feel like he can cause a lot of disruption on that defensive line. Secondary's got to hold up long enough that he can get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, a lot of teams are going to do that. I mean, USC has the quickest.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that'll be. So.
Yeah, I mean, we talk with a USC fan all the time, and that's constant what he's been talking about. Miller Moss gets the ball out in about 2.5 seconds.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how Tom Allen takes this game and maybe adjusts his game plan a little bit.
Yeah.
Going forward, does he become? I mean, he's pretty blitz happy, but I don't really feel like his blitzes have been effective, at least so far.
No.
It always felt like Manny's were effective. I don't even feel like our blitzes currently are causing like a pressure at the, you know what I mean? So yeah, it'll be interesting to see moving forward how maybe he adjusts a little bit.
Now, and a lot of people are making a big thing about the defensive line not getting a lot of sacks yet. The team in general doesn't have a lot of sacks yet. Let's keep in mind last year we led the country in sacks. and we were saying the exact same thing through the first couple weeks of the year. It took a couple weeks to get the floodgates going, but once they got going, I mean, we started seeing them rack up 7, 8, 9, 10 sacks in some of these games. So, let's pump our brakes on that. We'll see it. It will happen, and once it starts happening, things will be fine. Just got to tune things up a little bit.
Yeah. Tony Rojas made a heck of a play on that interception, by the way. That was a hell of a.
Yeah, he had himself quite the interesting day on Saturday. He had that beautiful interception, but he also got his ass ran over.
Well,
and
he's really
It's
starting to show
impressive.
his ability to cover is something else.
Yeah, it's impressive at 6'2", 240 to be doing that.
Yeah.
he had another really nice coverage play downfield, like 30, 40 yards downfield.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Really, really nice play.
He's gonna be really
looks
good, man.
he looks like an absolute stud, man.
He'll be really good.
Yeah. Let's move on. The rest of college football week 2. Like I said earlier, it was crazy around the country. Of course, Notre Dame lost to Northern Illinois, another MAC
For
school.
the Irish.
Yeah, that's
such a shame.
Yeah.
Couldn't happen to a better program, honestly.
Yeah. I really had a hard time sleeping last night knowing that they lost.
It's so funny, man. It's every year. I mean, we say this with Penn State, bro, but like literally with Notre Dame, it's every year, bro. They get all this hype. They play just about nobody. That they have 1 or 2 tough games on their schedule, but aside from those 2 games, if they get out of those unscathed,
So do you think their playoff chances are gone?
So I was
think
just
so.
about to say that does numbers for a lot of people in the country because Notre Dame not being in a conference was pretty much a lock for an at-large.
Right.
Them losing that game and not being in a conference, that game is holier than fuck for them.
Yes.
That is probably going to be enough when comparing resumes to really hurt them. Now they do play USC at the end of the year, so if they go 11-1,
but that's it, right?
USC, that's pretty much it, man.
And who knows what USC is going to be at that point, because USC has a really tough schedule too. So, I mean, if USC comes into that game with 3-4 losses already, it's not going to be that big of a booster for Notre Dame. You know what I mean? Like if they need to have some sort of impressive win to make that jump, and USC has a few losses, that's not going to happen.
I think interested to see what USC looks like when we play them.
Yeah, I think he's legit, for being honest.
I believe so as well. But, week 1, you never know.
And our other favorite program, the Iowa Hawkeyes lost.
And the Michigan Wolverines.
Got absolutely bodied. Oof. We were right well, you guys were right on all 3 of your picks.
Whoa. I didn't even know that.
Yeah. I should have stuck with Nebraska, but it's all right. I didn't want to jinx us, so you're welcome. I'll credit that Nebraska.
Lock of the week's 1-1, by the way.
It was fun watching Shedeur leave early.
Tennessee handled business. Lock of the weeks, we're back even. 1-1.
Yep, Tennessee got that massive win.
Tennessee's legit too.
Yeah, Nico looks good, man.
Disgusting.
I think Nebraska looks really good at the moment too.
Nebraska does look really good.
I don't like what he's doing, bro. I don't like his Pat Mahomes mock
Raiola. Yeah.
Weird as shit.
That shit's a little too far.
Oh, you're talking about Matt Rule for a minute. Don't talk
you're
about
walking like him. It's just weird, bro. I don't know. It's just weird for me. It's just what the fuck,
bro? He does the exact same freaking he has the same haircut, same number, walks the same way, has the same shades, fucking does his little jump and warm up and yell at the crowd the same way. Dog, it's too much.
Be your own person, man. It's all right.
You're
a fucking weirdo.
Yeah, that shit's crazy.
Yeah.
Do you want to do some week 3 picks?
Yeah, the schedule looks like dog shit.
You said what?
This slate looks like dog shit.
Yeah, it was really tough to pick out some of these games. I don't even know, bro. We got Alabama, Wisconsin, Alabama, of course. All right, let's do this. LSU, South Carolina.
LSU.
Bro, have you watched South Carolina?
LSU, bro.
Didn't they just beat the dog shit out of Kentucky?
Yeah, I don't care.
The week before, they barely won.
LSU.
Yeah, LSU.
LSU, but it's close.
Brian Kelly turns that thing around.
Mm.
Turns it around.
Yeah, he was really upset.
Dude, when that water bottle levitated off the ground, man, I fucking lost it, dude.
Yeah, that was funny.
That was the funniest shit I've ever seen.
Uh,
I am going to pick LSU here.
LSU.
I will not be shocked with South Carolina.
You should pick them, Aaron. You should pick South Carolina.
No, I need to make up ground on you guys. Bro, all right, so we got two in-state rivalries from the Pac-12. I don't know which one to pick out of both of these, maybe both of them, but Oregon, Oregon State, Washington State, and Washington. Oregon's going
to win, bro.
I mean, yeah, Oregon State looks solid, though.
Oregon has looked horrible.
And it's at Oregon State.
It's Oregon, bro. It's Oregon with ease.
With ease.
Yes, bro. Eventually, they're just going to light somebody up, and then they'll be fine. I think it'll be this weekend.
Man, they can't even get through Idaho. Yeah, I got to agree with TK, though. I'll go Oregon.
Yeah. Do we want to do the Washington State game, or there's UCF TCU? Like,
I think you do. I think you do the backyard brawl. That's what I think you do.
Yeah, West Virginia Pitt.
Well, we already know your pick on that.
Yeah,
West Virginia Pitt.
That's the fucking lock of the week too. By the way, West Virginia is putting belt to ass on Pitt. That's what's.
Whoa! You said you're wait a minute. You said you're rooting for Pitt.
That's what's happening.
I'm
not picking Pitt. I'm picking West Virginia to beat Pitt.
I will say, because I'm sure lots of West Virginia fans tune in now after TK has trolled them on the timeline for the last week and a half.
No, I said I was picking. Oh yeah, I was gonna root for Pitt, but that changed.
Yeah,
that changed.
Things changed.
You know, I was happy to see that West Virginia's offense had a chance to play yesterday and dropped 50 on powerhouse Albany.
Yep.
But yeah, I'll never pick Pitt. West Virginia.
Pitt had a nice comeback at Cincinnati this past weekend. Actually, impressive comeback at Cincinnati this past weekend. Kicker has some balls of steel, but give me West Virginia on that one. I'm with you.
So we're all going with the Mountaineers, huh?
We're all the same. We're all unanimous.
Damn, man. It's like picking your son to do well in the football game after what we did to them week one. Damn.
Yeah. Let's add Washington State in there, bro. Fuck it, I'm taking Washington State. Just because.
I won't be doing that. I'm taking Washington.
TK's too serious for these.
Yeah, I mean, I'm picking. Like, I'm trying to get a W here. Like, I didn't win last year.
I'm trying to get a W here.
That Washington shit is pussy, though, for sure. But I'm picking Washington.
Yeah, Washington.
That might be my chance to make up ground on you guys there. We'll see.
Probably not. What about a Florida Texas A&M?
A&M.
Yeah, that was one that I thought about
Gainesville?
Too. What?
In Gainesville.
Listen, Florida already made me look like an idiot week one. Okay? I'm done. Napier out. I'm not picking Florida again. They can't win big games, especially in Gainesville.
Wow.
Yeah, give me the Aggies for sure.
Elko can out.
It's gonna be a long year down there.
Wow.
It's gonna be a long year in Gainesville, bro. Give me the Aggies.
I mean, for me here locally, a game I'm interested in, East Carolina App State. I'd like to see the Pirates pull that off.
That would be it. That is going to be an interesting game. That is one that I'm going to be tuned into.
Yeah.
But yeah. Mm-mm. All right, we got a solid 3 or 4 there. We'll see what happens. Yeah, I don't like. No, I don't like it at all.
We have 2 of them, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so sick.
2 weeks, and that's we 2 weeks, and bitching and complaining already, and now we got to wait 2 weeks.
I think it's come at the perfect time.
That sucks.
Yeah, it's right at the perfect time for the team. Couldn't be.
Sure, but I'm talking to fans. I don't care about the team.
No, for the fans. Like
for me,
for the fans.
Yeah, but I don't want to sit on this for like
another. I do, bro. I need a reset, bro. I'm not in a good place. I need a reset.
He already needs a fucking reset. It's been 2 weeks.
Yeah,
the bye week has come at a perfect time for me, bro. I need a fucking reset.
They could come out and kill Kent State next weekend, and then you'd forget about it.
I don't think that's going to happen, so I need a reset.
Oh my God.
You don't think we're gonna beat the hell out of Kent State?
I'm not confident.
You think it wouldn't happen this
weekend
weekend?
right now, bro.
Wow.
Whatever the spread is, if it's above 24, no way I'm taking that. No fucking chance. No
Yeah,
fucking.
that was pretty disappointing, man. James Franklin usually really good against the spread. For the past few years, been really good against the spread, like undefeated against the spread.
What the fuck am I saying, bro? 24, 17. If it's like 17 and a half, I'm not taking that. No way, dude. No fucking way. Like, that was so unbelievably ass. Like, it's insane. Like, so yeah, I'm glad it's the bye week. I need it, bro. My body needs to reset, bro. I was ready to chief cigarettes like Alex. Fucking after that game,
I actually think the team kind of needs it too. I mean, we're banged up.
Bumps and bruises, huh?
Yeah, bumps and bruises. That's all we hear, bro. Everybody has bumps and bruises.
I didn't even watch the press conference, bro.
Oh, no. You should. You'll feel a lot better.
No, bro. I can't even imagine what he said, bro. I just know he hit.
You already know what he said because
I know for a fact he hit
every time.
You know, with his want to thank you guys for coming out and supporting, covering Penn State football.
Yeah.
You know, as I always say here, it's tough to win. It's tough to win in college football. I'll never apologize for winning.
I mean, he literally did say it's tough to win.
He did. Yeah.
He says it every time.
For being here. Thank the fans.
Such an ass, dude.
Tough to win. Not going to criticize the team after a win. Watch the
I feel like there's a fine line here.
Win, bro.
Almost like a handle with care situation. You don't want to. You just won, and we put all this emphasis on winning each week and my 1-0 mentality. So when they win, you don't want to beat them up right away.
Here's a message. Here's a message to James. I watched Nick Saban flip out on a player up in a game like 48-10. And that dude was red in the face because his player made a mistake. He was winning 48-10.
Yeah. That's what it takes, bro. That's what it takes.
I would love to see James do that. But
I have so many messages for James.
Bro.
Like, I have so many messages for James. Like, it would be a full-on book at this point.
Hey, I appreciate you guys talking with me this week. And listeners, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. We really appreciate your guys' support. Make sure to like and subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, Apple. Leave us comments. Make sure you're sharing it with your friends. Yeah, can't appreciate you guys enough. Thank you so much. Take care.